pregnancy, third time mom. I'm gonna take you through everything that's in this room, but I'm also gonna do this in a little different way because every mom and every baby is completely different. Even if this is your first or your second, your third, you aren't going to know what your baby likes. You might know what you like, but you're not gonna really know what your baby wants. So as I'm going through this room, I'm gonna ask a few questions that you might want to consider that maybe you have not before. So let's dive into it. Okay, so this is a pretty small room, but you don't need much with the baby. So obviously we have a monitor. Again, go with whatever monitor, but let's talk about monitors because there are so many different options. It can be so overwhelming. So here's a few things to consider when looking at baby monitors. Some things you need to ask yourself is if you want a monitor that has like an additional screen or if it hooks right up to your phone. Something to consider. Me personally, I am trying to not be on my phone and beat phone addiction, so I definitely wanted one that was not on my phone, but you might be someone who you want to be out to dinner or across the coast on vacation and be able to just literally pull it up on your phone and be able to see your baby in the crib. Totally up to you. I personally don't want anything to do with that. If I am not here and it's like grandma or grandpa watching them, I hand them the monitor, they're good to go, I'm not stressing, but you might be completely different and that's okay, and you might want it on your phone. So that's something to check out. Also to consider about your Wi-Fi connection, just throwing that out there, because the Wi-Fi in our area is kind of hit or miss. So I definitely did not want it on my phone. Another thing to consider is the distance. So you might live in a relatively smaller house or just small backyard, and that's not an issue for you. Or if you're someone like me where I have a decent sized backyard and sometimes, you know, in the warmer months, I'm outside with my kids, my other kids, or, you know, doing whatever while my baby's up here napping. And so I needed a monitor that can have that much of a stretch where I'm quite a little bit further away in the backyard, but I'm still able to see them and hear them and all of that. Another thing to consider is, I guess, how long you're actually going to use it. And again, everyone is so different. I've seen some people use their baby monitors till their kids are like 4. I'm gonna be honest, I stopped using this when they're like 2. And even as after like they're 1, I'm really only needing the sound, to be honest. That's me personally. You might be completely different and you might want to have eyes on them all the time. So they make monitors that just do sound, and then they also make monitors that obviously have a camera like this. So all things to consider. Let's talk about a crib. This is my 3rd time using this crib, okay? I got it on, I put it on my baby registry with my first, still going strong. Now, the crib mattress, let's talk about that quick. So I think everybody and their mother knows that every influencer really pushes that, what is that, baby Newton mattress. So I'm not here to tell you not to buy it or not to add it to your registry, because if you want to, go right ahead, babe. But things to consider. My mattress here is just a good old regular Graco one that's like $60 from Amazon or something. And let me tell you, I think it just does the job. Something to consider though with these cribs mattresses is that how long is your baby going to be needing a crib mattress? Do you plan on maybe a few years, but do you plan on moving them into a twin size bed, a full bed, a big girl bed? Do you plan on maybe having more children after this where the next child might need this crib and you'll be obligated to buy another bed for them? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you plan on turning this into a toddler bed. There's a lot of things to consider when thinking about the price of these mattresses. For me personally, this is my second mattress, just because something to consider again when you're using them. I probably used the first mattress for like 4 years in a row, which is a lot. So I started getting like the indent, which is not safe. So once my 2-year-old was ready to come out of her crib, we just moved her into a big girl bed and we got a new one of these mattresses just so it's nice and safe for this one. But you know, something to consider for the mattress. I just have a nice pretty picture. I got this on sale at Target. It was originally black on the outer parts, not that you care. I spray painted it gold. All good. I did not want a lot of money going into decor in this economy. Down here is just random. So I have a sound machine. Sound machines. I have a few different types. I have the, I don't even know what it's called. It's called the Halo one. It's very popular. I do have that, in fact. It's in my other girl's room. However, I will say that one is really nice, except I've recently, my pediatrician with my other kids, they have been having a difficult time in the nights waking, and she actually was telling me about how there's a lot of studies coming out about how light in the bedroom, especially when they're little, like having night lights like that, it's actually really affecting their sleep. So I've actually gotten away from using any type of nightlight, and I just use a sound machine. Now I know there's tons of like studies out there too about sound machines not being great, so it's totally up to you. You don't need one, absolutely don't, but if you want one, go for it. The Halo one is great because you can set it up on a timer. It has a night light, different sound options. Wonderful. I also like this Hush one. Now this one is probably my favorite, but this one is great because you could take it on the go. It has a charger. I typically just keep it in her room plugged in, and then whenever we're on the go, you can just literally hook it to the car seat and it makes lots of noise. But if you're not looking to have one on the go, I also have a little nightlight that I think is fantastic. Again, it's just my other girl's room, but I'll put like a little picture or something here. Wonderful to have that in the middle of the night when you're coming into the room and you can't see nothing and you literally just tap the top of it and a light turns on. I will probably buy another one of those and stick it somewhere in this room because that is super helpful. All right, and then over here, I am a girl mom, but I don't have a ton of bows. This is it. I just have a lot of like, not a lot. I have a few head wraps and just bows. I definitely don't go overboard just because I find, especially with my other two, they never liked anything kept in their hair like that. They still don't. So maybe we'll have better luck with this one. Probably not. But I definitely don't go overboard. I just want my kids to be comfortable, cozy. So just a few options. And then in here, this is very random, but I had one of these leftover jewelry boxes from my other kids, so I decided to just throw it in here instead of get rid of it. And I just have binkies stored in here for now, and like little binky holders. Neither one of my girls ever used a binky, so not sure if this one will, but I have some ready to go just in case. And that's another thing. You are not really going to know if your kid is going to want a binky or not, or takes one, and if they do, which ones they're going to like. So as you can see, I have a bunch of different kinds to test out. Maybe they'll like binkies, maybe they won't, but it's nice to have a variety to start with because you're really not going to know what they like. The nursery chair. This is such a big discussion because man, oh man, can they make these things expensive. So I have this one, and then I have this one, and you're like, why the heck do you have two? So this one is the first one I ever had. I had it on my baby registry. Luckily, my family bought it for me, and I learned my lesson. So here's some tips on this. Here's the thing, and you're probably slowly learning this. With the words nursery or baby, the price is just going to jack up. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So, first chair, that is just a regular nursery chair. I think it's from Target or Amazon, probably both. Retails, I think, for like, I don't know, quite a few $100s. And it's lovely, don't get me wrong. It is lovely, but it is small. And because it is called something specific with being involved in a nursery, it was expensive for how small I think it is, which is fine because if you're a petite woman, like you're gonna fit into that chair no problem. The thing to consider is if you have a spouse or your partner, whoever, who is also gonna be taking care of the baby, they are larger, they might not fit into those chairs. So let me tell you, my husband does not fit into that chair at all. And we didn't want to get rid of it. And I was primarily the person sitting in the chair, so it was no big deal. But when I went to go have my second, I was like, we need a nice big comfy chair, because you realize, well, actually, you may realize you spend a lot of time in this chair, or you might be someone who doesn't spend any time in this chair at all. For me, I ended up always spending so much time in this chair. Because of that, when I went to go have my second, I was like, we need to upgrade. And so what I did instead for nursery chair is I just went into a regular furniture store. I went into Ashley Furniture, Raymore and Flanagan, Bob's Discount. That's where this one is from, Bob's Discount. And I literally just went to their chair section and shopped around. This one swivels, and it also reclines, which is something that I wanted. So I do suggest like figuring out what you think is comfortable, because you may potentially end up spending a lot of time in here. So if you want it to be nice, big, roomy, might be able to want to recline. Maybe you don't like that recliner option. Maybe you want like something to put your feet on in front of you. There's a lot of different options out there, but going to a regular furniture store was a game changer, because this ginormous chair, it is much larger, much nicer, much comfier, and it is so soft. It was $250. If this had the word nursery or baby on it, this would easily without a doubt be over $1,000. So that is something to consider, because it will save you a lot of money in the end. Here's our little nightstand next to the chair. A table, and I'm saying having a table because, again, if you do end up spending a lot of time in that chair, you're gonna want somewhere to put your drinks and your snacks and your phone and your book or whatever you're gonna have. You're gonna want somewhere to put it down. So nice light. And now in here, let's talk about the owlet for a second, because this is definitely not needed, and I think it's really designed for a specific type of person, and it might not be for you, or it might be. Now this is like the old version. So this one just hooks right up to my foot. You put it on their foot. It hooks right up to my phone, and basically it'll alert me if heart rate or oxygen levels plummet or skyrocket. These are a bit controversial. I will tell you, I have used this same exact one for both of my babies, and I have never had any problems. But that is just me, and I think it depends on how you use it. So these can cause extreme anxiety in some moms, which I totally get. So if you are the type of person who is going to hyperfixate on these numbers, this is probably not for you. Because if you are putting this on your baby and you are just laying in your bed looking at it at all times, that's not healthy, that's not good. Probably not for you. However, it works for me because I'm the type of person where, yes, like probably a lot of moms, I get nervous about having them sleep by themselves, and then you know. So what I do that works for me is I put this on their foot only at bedtime. I don't put it on during the day or anything. I strictly only use it at nighttime. So it's only on their foot for a few hours. And basically I don't look at the app, I don't look at the numbers or anything. I just have it there as a security that it will alert me if, God forbid, something happens. I think maybe once or twice, not many times, one or two, that I had like a false alert, like it'll wake you up, I'll tell you that. And everything was fine. It just like fell off of her foot. But again, that only happened twice out of using it I only used it for a year for both of them, so 2 years. It might not be for you, it might be for you. It really depends on where your anxiety level is at as a mom. I don't use them at all because they're able to get through that feeling at nighttime. And that's great. I know with my first, I didn't have it at first. And then when my baby was like 4 weeks old, and my sister-in-law had one of these, and I was like, is it worth it? And she told me to go buy it because it will help me sleep at night. And she was so right. It totally helped me. But I know a lot of people these do not work for. So just wanted to throw that out there. All right. And then last up over here, I just have, as you can see, tons of burp cloth. Here's the thing. you aren't gonna really know if your baby is a puker, spitter upper or not yet. With my first, I probably could have used 50 of these burp cloths. I'm not kidding you, because she spit up all of the time. My second, I probably could have got by with 3 of these. She never spit up, so you just aren't gonna know. So maybe it's best to just start off with a few, and then you could always buy more if you need them. But yeah, the thing is, you're just not gonna know. So I'm just prepared. I've got quite a few. This is what I have, and we'll see. Now the storage in this room is quite lacking. So down here, I just have this cute little basket, and what I keep in here are just, I have an extra bed sheet, and then an extra changing sheet. And then these are just like extras to like the boppy pillow, and yeah, just extra sheets. And in here I have these baby blankets. This is excessive. But to be honest, my other 2 girls were born in the dead of winter, so blankets were a necessity. So I just have quite a few just stored right in here for her. And obviously this is a nice cozy area rug. I got this from Target for like $50 on sale. It's just very simple and feminine, pink and cream, beautiful. So over in the corner here, I have a laundry basket. Now you probably want a laundry basket that does have a lid on it, because the clothes are going to get stained and spit up on and pooped on, peed on, you name it. This is just an extra laundry basket I have in my house, so I'm going to use it. I might end up getting a new one that has a lid on it, but we'll see. This will work for now. Very simple, but now we can talk about clothing, this dresser. Next to the dresser, before we dive into the dresser, I do have a diaper pail in the corner here. Now these are hit or miss. You're probably getting a lot of conflicting information. Again, everybody is so different. You might be someone who loves it and uses it all the time, and you might be someone who doesn't. Totally up to you. And I guess the thing is, if you're a first-time mom, maybe just throw it on your registry to see if you like them. If not, you could always get rid of it. This is Decor brand. This is my second one. I had another one in my other daughter's room, and I do have to say, I do like having one of these in their room. Now, when we're downstairs on the main level, I just throw it in the regular kitchen garbage bin. But when we're upstairs in their room, I think it definitely helps because, I mean, I'll show you. I don't have a bag in here right now, but it has like a lock button. I think it does a nice job at keeping out the smell, especially because you will quickly realize how often you are going through diapers, especially, you know, if you live on a multi-level house. Now, if you don't, you might not need one. You could just simply throw it in your main garbage area, or honestly just put it in a little plastic bag and immediately put it outside. It's totally up to you on how you want to do that. And then that basket here is empty. I don't really have anything to put in it right now. So let's talk about the changing station. So I have done both. I have done a changing pad like this, and I've also had a changing table, and there are definitely a few things to consider there. So changing pad, these can be cheap all the way up to insanely expensive, but it's something to consider when choosing between a changing pad and a changing table is how long you're going to be using it. And also in your storage situation, obviously this room is really small, so I don't necessarily need a changing table in here to take up room. You might want a changing table that has the extra storage and everything underneath it because it could fit in the room really nice. Something though to keep into consideration is once your child is potty trained and no longer needing that changing station, are you okay with like just getting rid of it, considering like the expense and everything? Or would you rather just having to get rid of the changing pad? So it's like totally something to think about. I've had both, as I've said. I definitely prefer the changing pad on top of the dresser just because it's easy access to all of the clothes and everything. But with all of the changing stuff, I just have my diapers accessible. I know sometimes some people like to put them in drawers. Totally up to you. I'd rather personally the drawers for clothes and other things. But easily accessible. You definitely want your diapers easily accessible next to your changing pad or changing table. I keep creams next by. Again, I want everything in range while you're changing your baby because it's easy peasy to grab. Cream, I have Aquaphor. You know what? Pick whatever creams you like. I don't know if this is helpful at all. I don't even know if I recommend it, but this is what I do. And I've never really experienced diaper rash with babies, which is kind of crazy. But pretty much every night before bedtime, I always lather up their booties with Aquaphor. I feel like this one's a preventative, so I just do that at night before bed, and like that's really it. Now if they ever start getting red, that's when I would do like a heavy duty cream. Now I don't have that heavy duty cream yet, honestly, because when I go to the hospital to deliver this thing, you get to take home the cream, so saving some money. But yeah, that's when I would use the heavy duty cream. Do you, babe? So next I have wipes. Okay, let's talk. The wipe warmer. Honest opinion, do you need it? No, you don't. You really don't. But do I have one in my hands? Yes, I do. When I first had my first baby, I had this on my registry. I actually had two. I had one up here and one downstairs. Honestly, it worked great because it's so easy to pull the wipes out. Like you're not like having to fight with this thing. It's really nice to pull one out at a time, and they're nice and warm, so I'm sure your baby appreciates that. But the thing is, there's going to come a point in time where you're out and like your baby is just going to be using cold wipes anyways. I think this is nice just to be able to pull them out. Am I even gonna plug this in? Probably not, to be honest. It's a luxury, I would say, because who wouldn't want their butt wiped with a nice warm wipe, you know? So it's a luxury. Is it a necessity? No, definitely not. It's just something nice to have. It does take up space too, obviously, right? Because you can I don't need this. I could just use these wipes. So that's also something to consider. It does take up space. Is it convenient to be able to just pull one out at a time? Yes, but is it worth the money? Up to you to decide, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna go through the drawers. So in these top two here, I just have newborn clothes, ready to go, washed. And if I'm gonna be honest, my babies tend to just be cozy. So you might be a different type of mom where you wanna dress up your babies, and that's all good and fun. Or you might just wanna be someone who's throwing some PJs on them all of the time. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter. You can do either or. It does not matter, whatever feels good for you. I'm also going to call out, like, I have a decent amount of PJs because, again, this is all of my baby is going to live in. And again, you don't really know if you're going to have a puker on your hands. Your baby might be able to wear one outfit for the full day, or you might be going through 4 outfits in one day. Who knows? These next two here, these are all of my 0 to 3 month clothes, just because I want them out, ready to go. This bottom drawer here is a bunch of randoms. We have little baby tights here. Now back here I have like these little mitten things that you put over their hands so they don't scratch themselves. However, I will say I have never used these. I bought these for my first and they've never worn them. However, some babies wear these all of the time. So I just have 2 pairs here on deck just in case. In here I have little hats and little bonnets that are going to fit their little noggin when they're little babies. So I have them ready to go. Here, these are just to the diaper pail. All of their little tiny socks, these ones that Velcro so that they can't kick off their socks. And then these are random baby shoes. If I'm going to be honest, I have never once put baby shoes on my baby, but I have some. So I have a few here in case I ever want to use them. Over here we have all of our swaddles. It's clean, ready to go. I don't store like baby medicine or lotions or anything like that in here. That's all in the bathroom, so do with that whatever you would like to. And then I also have like baby swings, but that's downstairs, again, out of the way. Car seats out of the way, not in her actual bedroom. But I'll show you what's in the closet because that might be helpful. I have all of these things stored in here. They're not going to stay in here, but for right now, before the baby's here, this is where we're at. So I do have a boppy pillow, the boppy lounger, and then I also have the DockATot. Again, I just have them on deck. I don't know which one she's gonna like more, and again, I know they're controversial, but you know, add them if you want them. And if you don't, you definitely don't need both of them. Again, my friend gave this one to me for free because she no longer needed it, and then my mom bought me this one, so they're all good. And then this here is just like a little circle play mat. Do I need it? Probably not, because they could just lay on a blanket, but I have it handy and we'll see. Now here I already have, like, I have fancier clothes. Up top is just like random storage. These are diapers that are like decently bigger, like size 2s, size 3s, things my other kids have grown out of, but they're on deck for when needed. This back here is a little fan. And then this is just random storage. Nothing, just random boxes and stuff. Now over here, these are all of my baby carriers. So I can tell you which baby carriers I have on deck. This is by far my most used baby carriers, the Baby Bjorn one. I think like the mini. It's in the cheetah print. This will be my 3rd time using it. I do like it. I will say it is heavier material. I think this one is just so easy to put on, and also so easy like to adjust between like me and my husband. Yes, he will wear the cheetah. I do hear great things, like the Artie Pop ones are insanely expensive. The Wild Bird carriers, I would actually love one of those. I am a big fan of the Baby Bjorn ones, like very, very easy to utilize, but I do hear that the Wild Bird ones might be better. And then I do have one of these Solly wraps. I think these are pretty popular. I would recommend, if you are considering getting one of the Solly wraps, to watch a tutorial and practice putting it on, because there's definitely a learning curve with it. And I'd also say these ones you can, oh, this one needs to be washed, but these ones you can only really use when they're little, because they're gonna grow out of this pretty quickly, I would say, compared to like these carrier ones. Those ones are gonna last you much longer because they can handle quite a bit more weight. But then what else is here? Oh, this is a this is a cover that I used to keep in my diaper bag for breastfeeding. But if I'm gonna be honest, I haven't used a cover in so long. I think when you're just breastfeeding for so long, you don't even care, you just whip it out. But this baby carrier is by La Boo. It's not really a carrier, it's actually a shirt, and it's so cute. So it's a tank top. What size did I got? I got a medium. And they are tight, but you just put it on, and then there's like this little kangaroo pouch essentially, and you just slide your baby in. Again, this only works when they're little, but I definitely use this a lot. It's very convenient because if you are someone who's going out of the house frequently, like you're driving and stuff, and you want to put your baby in here, you don't have to mess with wraps or anything. Like you could literally, you just wear this and you just plop your baby in there. So like there's no messing around with straps and tightening things. So that's really convenient. But for the price, it's like, how long are you really going to wear this for? So something to consider. And now over here, I just have a bunch of extra hats. These are too big for her head right now. I have the hats that are going to fit her head in the drawer that are convenient. These ones are all like 9 months, so we'll see. Diapers, wipes, all of the extras, so we're good to go. Down here, you're probably like, what's going on? But these are all just hand-me-down clothes that this baby is going to eventually need, but not for quite a while. So these are all like 18-month and 2T clothing. We've got 12 and 18-month clothing, so just on deck. And then same thing over here. We've got 3 to 6 months, so she'll need these ones much sooner. So they're just ready to go. I could just grab these. And then next size, 6 to 12. So already nice and organized. These are all hand-me-down shoes. So I put the shoes that are going to fit her in the drawer, as you saw. And then these are truly all hand-me-downs. So now over here in this closet, this is not going to stay here. This is just an extra wall decor. But I do have 2 babysitters. So I have this nice regular one. think these ones are super helpful. I know, controversy. I mean, I don't keep my kids in these for hours or anything, just like a few minutes. But these will probably go downstairs when the time comes. And then I also, the Baby Bjorn one, luckily my uncle got this for me with my first off of my baby registry, which, because I know these are very expensive. I think the dupes probably work just as fine, but having a baby bouncer like this is clutch. Right now they're just stored in here until I need them. Well, I hope you enjoyed, found this helpful or entertaining in the least. I am getting ready to have this baby soon, and I think everything's room and everything is ready to go for her. See you all in the next one.